It's also important to have a look at the relation of semantics with some other relevant disciplines, because semantics do not operate in isolation. It is strongly connected with some other fields of knowledge which support this interesting area of meaning understanding. As in the same vein, semantics also support these disciplines. Let's have a look at their relationship. Linguists are not the only scholars or not the only researchers who are interested in studying semantics. We have people belonging to various fields, for example, philosophy, anthropology, psychology. They are also interested in studying semantics because it helps them in understanding various kinds of meaning related to them. There is hardly a fine line, a clear line between a philosophical, psychological, anthropological, or linguistic interest in semantics. All these interests of various people from various fields of knowledge in semantics may be strongly interlinked. We cannot draw a line of distinction between various kinds of interests they have. More importantly, they have some similar interests in the process of meaning making and understanding of those meanings with various individuals and cultures. Linguistics has also gained a great deal from the scholars in all above mentioned disciplines. Linguistics get its insights from logic, from philosophy, and from the socio-cultural uses of language. So linguists keep on borrowing from these subjects. And these subjects also borrow from linguistics as well as from semantics. As some philosophers believe and have suggested that the problems of philosophy may be solved by understanding some general or ordinary uses of the language. In this regard, we can cite the examples of the problems related with the ideas of good and evil or of right and wrong in the moral philosophy or various religious cultures. Some people believe that these issues can be understood if we understand various uses of these terms in multiple cultures. How people living in a certain culture associate the meanings with these words that reflects their moral or social background. So, the problem of right and wrong, good or evil may be understood if we keenly observe the use of these terms in the daily conversation of the people living in a particular society. Such works or such interests have produced various impacts on semantics and pragmatics. For example, one notable impact can be seen on Austin's proposals about performatives and speech checks, also on Strawson's proposals for presuppositions, and on Grice's understanding of implicatures. Traditional logic is also concerned with semantics because its proposals range from simple syllogism to highly complex logical syntax. So it takes a lot from the use of ordinary language as well as the combination of ordinary language in forms of grammar and syntax. Logic also makes use of some ordinary terms like and or and because these words carry certain philosophies or ideas behind them, they are used in certain kind of combinations. Both words cannot be used for the same combination. They are used in different combinations, and their distinction is properly and academically exploited by the logicians to construct meaningful propositions. However, we cannot overestimate the importance of language use in logic, because logical systems themselves are self-coherent and internally consistent models of an idealized kind similar to those of mathematics. These may not be invalidated by the mere observations of natural language. They are quite and far neater and consistent than we assume. So mere knowledge of ordinary language may not be the key factor in disturbing these logical compositions. However, the knowledge of ordinary language may be very useful in making these ideological thinking or logical thinking powerful. Anthropologists also make use of semantics and pragmatics, as anthropologists are concerned with the behavioral and cultural patterns of people's lives. A linguist cannot ignore such understanding, because the cultural and behavioral patterns of people, they have a strong bearing on the meaning they make. And cultures and norms of a society do also help us in the understanding of the conventional or literal meanings of a word in a certain culture. For example, the word prayer may be understood differently in a Muslim culture, and it may be understood differently in a Buddhist or Hindu culture. Therefore, what bearing a culture or behavior of the people have on meaning, we can understand only when we have some idea about the anthropology of a society. And the importance of these patterns of the people is also acknowledged by Malinowski in his proposals about the context of situation and its importance in meaning-making process. The students of semantics are interested in various aspects of anthropological knowledge, especially in the knowledge about kinship. It is generally assumed that the intricate kinship relationship of any society are revealed by equally intricate kinship terminology used in that society. I give you a quick example in this regard. You must be familiar with the word uncle, which is an English word, and it is used generally for a certain relationship. But we have so many equivalents of this word in our own Urdu and Punjabi. For example, we have chacha, mama, or mamu. Similarly, we have equal terms in Punjabi for various kinds of uncles, but we have only one uncle term to convey such relations in English societies. Semantics also has a strong connection with psychology, because psychology also deals with the meanings in mind and how those meanings affect our behaviors. And one field which connects psychology and linguistics is known as Psycholinguistics, which deals with the production and perception of meanings. However, there is a lot still to be done in order to find a connection between the meaning and the psychology, and in order to describe it in a clear-cut way. There is a connection, most of people would agree to it, but in order to explain it in a proper way, it needs more research. It is largely through the influence of the psychologist that the behaviorist analysis of meaning has been proposed by various researchers in the field. One example is forwarded by Charles Morris in his book Sign, Language and Behavior. And he is more concerned with the signs and what they denote or signify in a particular way.